So in its real sense, an abandoned station. Right, we're looking for a sexy white polo.
A what?
A sexy white polo.
A sexy white polo?
Yep. Just found the sexy polo. Chris.
Are we on camera?
We're on camera already. How are you?
Just waking up.
Yeah, well, I feel like
That's
it too actually.
How's your trip?
It was alright, it was quick, it was nice, it was, yeah, all good, as expected. A virtual handshake, obviously.
Oh yes, welcome
Absolutely.
to Uckfield.
Are you local-ish? You're
No,
kind of...
not really, Henfield, about half an hour that way.
Okay. Right, and I'm guessing you've brought us to this industrial estate for a reason.
Yes, good trespassing for pleasure. I haven't been here for about 10 years, so hopefully the access is still the same as it was.
We'll give it a go. Not for the first time in my short YouTube career, I decided to film this important segment with no audio. So today's guest, who will be introduced shortly, is detailing what today's plan is. And to sum up exactly what he's trying to say here, we'll use Rail Map Online to show where we are and where we're going. We are starting today's journey down here in the southeast of England. Our goal today is to look at the Ouse Valley line, which is labelled here in pink either side of the map. Now why those two lines don't meet in the middle will all become clear very shortly. Okay, well, you may have already noticed we have been joined today by a special guest. For the true aficionado of the disused, abandoned railway, you may already recognise this chap. Chris,
Hi
welcome,
there.
welcome of course to the channel. We'll put a lot of links below, but Chris makes some wonderful DVDs about disused railways, especially in this area, I say this area, south of England really, I would suggest.
Well, I've been going for about 15 years or so. It's all DVD, it's all filmed on analogue, old equipment, and it's shoestring, cheapo, but it's thorough. Lots of trespassing for pleasure, seeing the views that you may not necessarily want to go under the wire to see.
Check out the DVD, check out the links below, because mainly available on eBay, is that correct? Yeah. A lot more detail than what we go into, maybe a little bit more trespassing than we go into as well. Right, so here we are. We're heading now towards Uckfield actual station. What are we doing today, Chris? What line are we on? Why are we here?
We're on the Uckfield to Lewes line, from which our doomed Ouse railway peels off, but we're just seeing this because this is where had a train run on the Ouse line, it would have come this way, so it's just to be complete really. We're actually standing, what you would have seen ahead of us here is the entrance to the Uckfield original station. There are in fact some platform remains which we may or may not be able to see through the growth. I know there's a set of buffers and still a bit of track, which is quite nice. Just over here is the remains of the signal box.
Oh wow,
Which
okay.
is a nice relic.
Yep. Local youths, well done. Local youths, handily down this embankment, I put in some steps. Also I noticed over there as well, Chris, it's exactly the same.
Yeah, that's good, isn't it?
Fantastic. Well done.
This is left over from the Uckfield Lewes line. 1941, Southern Railway.
Wow.
Makes a good doorstop. I got one at hand.
Okay.
I can imagine actually.
Nothing like a tangible relic, is it?
No, absolutely. Look at that. Wonderful.
In any event, we'd have been standing at the platform at the old Uckfield station. Building would have been on the right hand side.
Yep.
Rivers on the left. And if the trees were clear, you'd see across to the level crossing, which is still there.
Wow. This is why we love having people as local guides on the channel, because we'd have never probably even looked for this part. But right now we're stood on top of some old rails coming into Uckfield Old Station. Fantastic. This is why you need to go and buy some of Chris's DVDs, because we wouldn't have.
Save you the pain. I wouldn't do it again, you know.
We wouldn't have come here, would we? In a million years, Rebecca, I doubt.
No.
Rebecca certainly wouldn't have come here.
Rebecca wouldn't have come here because there's a lot of stinger nettles for the legs.
Not a steam.
Anyway, we are actually on the course of the track, but this is the Disused Valley Railway. We're on the embankment. That's looking back to the west to the east. I always do that.
Yeah, me too.
To the east towards Linfield Station. It was chopped when they built the bypass, the upfield bypass in, I think it's the 90s. And if we were here in the winter months, you would be able to see a very short distance over there, another embankment for the upfield to Lewis line.
Of course.
Which goes off, as you know. So that's the direction of travel.
Yes, I don't think we're going to get too far in that direction, are we?
So the 8 gates over the top of our heads. Yep. The train we run. It was built for double track. Probably only whether would have had single tracks going over it.
Yeah.
But huge. I mean, this is what railway hunting's all about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great big brick structures, hiding under ivy. No one knows it's here. Well, they do now, obviously, because the internet. But it's a fabulous. All that work.
Yeah.
All that work literally for nothing. Not even disused, but never used.
Okay, you join us walking just away from the little village or hamlet or whatever you call it of Buckham Hill. Now, big question that's been on my mind is, was there a tunnel? Because when you look on the OS maps, it looks like there should be a tunnel, or would have been a tunnel. There's a good cutting right up to it.
Yeah, there would have been 2 tunnels on this line had they ever built it.
Okay.
In its entirety. This is one of them, and referred to as Buckham Hill Tunnel.
Right. Right, now's probably a good time as well to briefly chat about the history of this line. My understanding, it was almost an insurance policy.
Yeah. I mean,
is that correct?
London Brighton South Coast Railway wanted to prevent a rival, and I'll remember who the name of that rival was shortly. Could be London Chatham Dover Railways.
Okay. Yep.
It's a blocking tactic really to prevent another railway company from coming into their territory. So what else can we tell you? 1866, that's when they started work on it, I think. The Act of Parliament goes back to 1863. Yep. And then they had this great big financial crash in 1866. Sound familiar? We haven't learned anything, have we? And work stopped. So no further work at all after, I think, 1867. And by 1868, it's completely abandoned project.
Wow, so very, very short-lived.
Yeah.
Right, I'm really excited now because although we know there is no tunnel, this now leads up. We're on the eastern side of what would have been the tunnel. You can see that way is up towards the hill where the tunnel would have gone. Right, we're going to call this half of the line a day now. We can't go too much further in that direction. We're aware we might be off the beaten track slightly.
Just a touch.
Just a touch. Right, so where are we going now, Chris? Where are we going to the...
We're going to relocate to really the other end of the line, which is the sort of northwest end, around Linfield, Haverty, where there are some more remains to be seen.
Linfield ahead of us.
That's it. And this is what we're going to have a skating look at, is where Linfield Station would have been.
Okay.
Which is on the left hand side of this road, and there's a large flat area, largely overgrown I expect now, but a large flat area where the station was going to be built.
That was the big plan.
Land was bought. There would have been a bridge. I think they did actually build a bridge over the road.
Okay.
Brickwork remains of the bridge.
Yeah.
And,
so in its real sense, an abandoned station. So we're right on top now.
Yeah, so we would have been that direction's back towards Upfield, obviously.
Yep.
If you look on the left hand side here, you can see a gentle slope, which we assume would have been the access road. Yep. And so platforms would have been kind of in front of us here.
But we're pretty sure nothing was built other than the embankment and the bridge.
There was a brick kiln, part of which I nearly fell down a few years ago, but I'm not sure if I can find it now.
So we are on Copyhold Lane,
Copyhold Lane Bridge is where we are next to.
and we're getting close-ish now to the Brighton main line.
Yeah. That's it.
And this is a lovely little embankment over a bridge just down there. What was a bridge, I assume?
Yeah.
Not anymore, but
No
yeah.
more.
They did finish this bridge. They did
Yeah.
actually. It was. I've never seen photos, but there's documented that it was actually completed
Yeah.
and knocked down in the early 1900s to help traffic. You would have been looking in the direction of a tunnel at Kennard's farm back in that direction, but
Now, is that where we stopped?
yeah.
Because we obviously stopped and we couldn't really stop. We kind of stopped and got a quick bit of footage. Main road, very busy, nowhere to park. It's a nice setting, isn't it? Sure, that was your turn to go and get the camera, Rebecca.
No, never.
So, the Ardingly branch.
Ardingly, you've got to say lie, otherwise the locals get very uptight. The Ardingly branch. So, if you look at the map, this would have crisscrossed the Ardingly branch line.
Yes.
But when this was being built, the Ardingly branch line had yet to be constructed. That was still 20 years in the future, about 1880 thereabouts. This is 1860. So some people say, had this line been built, they wouldn't have built the Ardingly branch line. So they would never have. It's a theoretical,
Oh, I see. Okay,
hypothetical crisscross.
Yes. Would it have existed?
Yeah.
Maybe not.
So a lot of people say, oh, this is where the lines would have crossed, but it's all guesswork, really.
We're amazed at how wide this embankment is. Chris is saying there's potential, it's speculation, but potential that it may have split. So it may not have only just gone north, but it also may have gone to the south as well and split off. So Skew Bridge.
This is Skew Bridge, yes it is. This is the beginning of the Disused Valley Railway, the north-west end. And it's where it would have peeled away from the London-Brighton main line. Bit of a noisy road, but what you will be able to see is the brick abutments carrying the line off the main line onto its own little branch.
So last stop for us is going to be not necessarily relevant to the Ouse Valley line, but we're going to head on to...
It's known as the Ouse Valley Viaduct, so it seems appropriate enough.
Yep. So we're ending our journey here, is that right, Chris? We're at the end of the line.
Yes, this is the Ouse Valley Viaduct. Not technically part of the line, but it's very close to it, and it's called the Ouse Valley Viaduct, so it seems completely appropriate.
It's very appropriate. It's exceptionally beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to end our journey here. So big thanks to Chris for joining us today.
Pleasure.
It's been a joy, hasn't it? So many places we wouldn't have actually sort of looked for ourselves, let alone gone on to.
But always wanted to meet you guys, you know.
Yeah.
We'll do
So
it again sometime.
the most important thing we're going to say now is look on the links below, look on the pinned comment that I will do, and go and buy some of Chris's DVDs, because if you like our channel and you like some of the detail, not that we give you a lot of detail, but if you like the detail, you really need to look at some of Chris's DVDs, buy them, look on eBay, you'll see the link down below. But for the three of us, we shall bid you farewell and we shall see you next week.
So some people say if this had been built, it's possible